Don't respect anyone who does these 10 things. Have you ever wondered if you are surrounded by the right people? Today, we're going to talk about something super important. The 10 signs you should take into account to know if someone really deserves your respect. Yes, you heard right. Knowing who the people are who are truly worth it can be a game changer in your life. So get comfortable, because this is going to interest you. Let's go there. Number 1, lack of honesty. Imagine for a moment that you are building a house. Now, would you lay the foundation of your house with a fragile material? Of course not. The same goes for honesty in our relationships. It is the solid foundation on which everything else is built. If that foundation is fragile due to a lack of honesty, everything you build on top of it will be equally unstable. And speaking of instability, have you ever been in a situation where you don't know if you can believe what someone is telling you? Consume energy, right? You are constantly in vigilance mode, wondering if the next thing that comes out of his mouth will be true or not. This lack of security can affect not only your relationship with that person, but also your emotional well-being. You become anxious, paranoid, and, in the long run, emotionally exhausted. Who wants to live like this? Plus, let's face it, life is too short to spend it deciphering lies or half-truths. Wouldn't you rather invest that time in something more productive or in relationships that bring you something positive? Honesty saves time, a resource that once spent, we can never get back. On the other hand, allowing someone dishonest to remain in your life is also a form of self-deception. I tell you that you are okay to be treated in a way that you are not okay. We cannot control the actions of others, but we can control how we react to them. And one of the most liberating and respectful acts you can do for yourself is to walk away from dishonesty. In closing, someone being dishonest with you is more a reflection of who that person is than who you are. You don't have to carry someone else's lack of integrity. You deserve relationships built on truth, respect, and mutual trust. That's the way we should all live our lives. Number 2, contempt for others. At this point, let's delve into a topic that really needs to be addressed: contempt for others. Think about it. Have you ever been around someone who seems to look down on everyone from a pedestal of superiority? It is as if they carry a dark cloud of negativity that crushes the spirits of those around them. No matter how confident you are, being around someone who constantly puts others down can make you question your own worth. But here's the key. You don't have to allow it. First of all, we understand one thing. Contempt is an external manifestation of an internal insecurity. People who put others down are often the ones who have the most difficulty finding value in themselves. But instead of fussing and dealing with that insecurity, they project that negativity onto others. It's as if by making others smaller, you could feel a little bigger. But at what cost? When you allow someone with contempt for others to have a space in your life, you are not only harming yourself, you are also perpetuating a cycle of negativity. It's like you're saying, "It's okay to treat me badly." But it's not. Your mental and emotional well-being is too valuable to be undermined by someone who can't find anything better to do than put others down. Furthermore, living in a constant state of contempt for others is exhausting, both for the person who feels it and for those around them. It creates a toxic environment in which trust, empathy, and collaboration cannot flourish. And be honest, do you want to spend your precious time in such an environment? Of course not. So if you find yourself in a situation where someone demonstrates consistent disregard for others, take a moment to evaluate how this affects your life and well-being. Remember, you can choose who you spend your time with, and that choice should be in line with your values and the respect you have for yourself. Number 3, breach of promises. Now we are going to talk about something that we have surely all experienced at some point in our lives: broken promises. This is a delicate topic because it goes beyond a simple failure or error. It is about the breaking of a given word, a kind of verbal contract that deeply affects trust between people. Now, why should you worry about this issue? Simple. Living in a world where promises are often broken is like trying to build a castle on sandy ground. The foundations are not solid. And sooner or later, everything will fall apart. Trust, that fundamental pillar in any type of relationship, is gone every time a promise is not kept. And when trust is gone, cooperation, communication, and emotional connection suffer extremely. So if you find yourself surrounded by people who make promises, like someone changing shirts, without any intention of keeping them, stop there. It's time to reconsider those relationships. It's not just about avoiding disappointment, but about surrounding yourself with people who lift your energy, who inspire you and motivate you to be better. Broken promises act as shackles that prevent you from moving forward. They become emotional burdens that plunge you into uncertainty and skepticism. But here comes the motivating part. You have the power to change this dynamic. First, keep your own promises. Be an example of integrity and reliability. Not only will this increase your self-esteem, but you will also become a beacon to other people who value those qualities. Second, set clear boundaries. If someone breaks a promise, communicate how it affects you, and decide if that relationship deserves a second chance. And last but not least, surrounding yourself with people who keep their promises will also help you grow and achieve your own goals. In an environment where trust is the norm, you will feel safer to take risks, innovate, and seek your best version. Number 4, lack of empathy. Now we come to a topic that, although it sometimes goes unnoticed, is fundamental for any type of human relationship and for our own personal fulfillment: empathy, or rather, the lack of it. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you feel like the other person just doesn't get what you're going through? Or perhaps it has been you who has failed to put yourself in the other's shoes. Lack of empathy is more than a small flaw in character. It's a black hole that can swallow entire relationships, opportunities, and most importantly, our own emotional well-being. Imagine for a moment that you are on a boat on the high seas and empathy is your anchor. If you drop that anchor, if you connect with those around you, the journey will be much more stable and meaningful. But without it, you're adrift, subject to the emotional storms that arise when people don't feel understood, valued, or heard. Lack of empathy is like walking through life with blinders. It limits your vision, your reach, and ultimately, your potential to grow and connect with others. But here's the good news. Empathy can be learned and cultivated. Yes, some have it easier than others, but that doesn't mean we can't improve. And in that improvement lies incredible power, the power to transform not only your relationships, but yourself as well. The lack of empathy often hides deeper problems, such as fear of emotional commitment, insecurity, or even low self-esteem. But when you arm yourself with empathy, you are giving yourself a powerful tool to unearth and confront these underlying issues. You become stronger, more aware, and definitely more human. So if you encounter someone in your life who displays a blatant lack of empathy, remember, you don't have to jump in the same boat. You can choose people who anchor with you in deeper and more meaningful emotional waters. And if you're the person who needs a little work in this area, there's no better time than now to get started. Number 5. Manipulative attitude. Let's dive into a somewhat delicate but incredibly relevant topic: manipulation. Or, to be more precise, the manipulative attitude that we sometimes find in the people around us, or even in ourselves. First of all, let's make something clear. Manipulation is not simply malevolent behavior. Often places of insecurity, fear, or the need to control our environment to feel safe arise. But here's the key. No matter where it comes from, manipulation is a barrier to genuine relationships and our own growth. Imagine walking through a jungle where every decision you make is crucial to your survival. Now, imagine you have a map, but it turns out that map has been altered to lead you down paths that benefit someone else. That's what it's like to deal with a person with a manipulative attitude. They rob you of the ability to make informed decisions, to live your life on your own terms. And if you are the person manipulating, you may achieve momentary control, but at a tremendous cost. First, you compromise the authenticity of your relationships. Second, it erodes your own self-esteem because deep down, you know that you are not genuinely earning love, respect, or admiration. Now, are you ready for the really exciting part? You can change. If you have identified manipulation in your life, you have the power to eradicate it. With authenticity, with open communication, and perhaps most importantly, with self-awareness. Know your fears, your insecurities, and work on them. Real power comes from being genuinely yourself and allowing others to do the same. Last but not least, if you are dealing with manipulative people, be strong and set your boundaries. You are not forced to play a game you don't want to play. Number 6, toxic behavior. What exactly is toxic behavior? It can manifest itself in many ways, from constant negativity to hurtful comments to manipulation and control. It is basically any action that drains you emotionally and undermines your well-being. If you're surrounded by toxicity, it's like trying to climb a mountain with a backpack full of rocks. Every step you take, every effort you make is doubly difficult. But here's the good news. You can leave that backpack at any time. You have the ability to recognize toxic behavior and move away from it. Sometimes this is the most empowering step you can take. Now, here comes the challenging but liberating part. If you realize that you are the source of toxicity, you have incredible power in your hands, the power to change. Being aware of your toxicity is the first and most crucial step to transforming yourself. It's not about flagellating yourself for past mistakes, but rather embracing the opportunity for growth and improvement. Do you want to know something exciting? People change. You can change. Imagine freeing yourself from those toxic patterns and how that could open doors to deeper relationships, stronger self-esteem, and unbreakable peace of mind. It's all at your fingertips. But you have to be willing to do the hard work of self-reflection, facing your inner demons and building healthier habits. Friends, never underestimate the power of positive change. Not only will it transform your life, but it will also serve as a beacon to those around you. Be the change you want to see and watch the world change with you. Number 7, disloyalty. Are you ready for a topic that can not only change the way you see others, but also how you see yourself? Yes, we are talking about disloyalty, a topic that strikes a chord with many of us. First, let's agree on what disloyalty means. It is a violation of trust, going against the commitments and expectations you have with someone, whether in a friendship, love relationship, or even at work. It is a kind of betrayal that breaks the fundamental fabric of trust and mutual respect. Now here comes the first slap of reality. We are all capable of being disloyal. Why? Because we are human. We all fail, we make mistakes, but that doesn't mean we can't learn, grow, and become more loyal and trustworthy than before. Recognizing our own failures is the first step to transforming our lives. The best of all, this transformation has a ripple effect on every aspect of our existence. If you have experienced disloyalty, I know it hurts. It's like a blow to the stomach that takes the wind out of you. But this experience also comes with an invaluable lesson. It shows you what you really value in relationships and in yourself. It is a mirror that reflects the areas where you need to grow, set boundaries, and perhaps do some relationship cleansing in your life. If you are the one who has been disloyal, this is your call to action. Don't wallow in guilt or self-pity. Use this moment as a springboard to grow. Ask yourself, why was I disloyal? What needs or insecurities were you trying to satisfy? The answers to these questions can be your roadmap to a better version of yourself. In both cases, disloyalty is a call to reevaluate, to grow, to be better, and when you start to improve, you attract people and circumstances that reflect that improvement. It becomes a virtuous circle of personal growth and happiness. Friends, this journey of self-discovery and improvement never ends. If you encounter disloyalty, whether as a recipient or a perpetrator, remember, every day is a new opportunity to be better. Every moment is a new opportunity to choose loyalty, love, respect, and kindness. Number 8, unnecessary cruelty. This is a topic that might be a little darker, but it is crucial to understanding and improving our relationships. both with others and with ourselves. We are talking about unnecessary cruelty. Yes, I know it sounds harsh, but stick with me because this is a topic we cannot run away from if we want to live full and meaningful lives. What is unnecessary cruelty? It is a deliberate act to cause physical or emotional suffering to another person or living being without any justification or valid cause. This can manifest itself in many ways: harsh words, put-downs, physical abuse, or even intentional indifference. Now, let's face it, we've all had our moments. Maybe you've made fun of someone at school, or maybe you yelled at someone in a moment of anger. The first thing I want you to know is that self-compassion is crucial here. Recognizing that we have made a mistake is the first step to growing and improving. Don't wallow in guilt. Instead, use this recognition as a springboard to change. If you have been the victim of unnecessary cruelty, I want you to know that the other person's behavior does not reflect your value. Often, cruel people are projecting their own pain and insecurity onto others. Don't let their toxicity become your truth. So, how do we change? For perpetrators of acts of cruelty, it's about understanding why you acted the way you did. Is it an insecurity that leads you to put others down? Is it repressed anger that manifests itself in harmful ways? Whatever the cause, identifying it is the key to unlocking a new level of emotional and social well-being. If you are the victim, the change can be even more profound. This is the time to set boundaries, to practice self-love, and perhaps to eliminate some toxic people from your life. And remember, every time you choose self-love over toxicity, you are setting a new standard for your life. In short, confronting unnecessary cruelty, whether as the perpetrator or recipient, is a golden opportunity for personal growth and character development. It's not easy, but my friend who said, "The road to greatness would be easy." Number 9. Emotional immaturity. Now we are going to talk about a topic that closes like a shadow in many personal relationships and also in our relationship with ourselves. I'm talking about emotional immaturity. Don't worry, we've all been there at some point. The key is to recognize it and take steps to move forward. Emotional immaturity manifests itself in many ways, from tantrums and whims to evading responsibility and blaming others. It's about not having the tools or understanding to manage our emotions in a healthy and productive way. But here's the twist. It's not your fault if no one taught you how to do it. It is your responsibility to learn now that you are aware of it. Then, how do we do it? How do we go from reacting like small children to responding like emotionally mature adults? First step, self-awareness. Take an emotional inventory. How do you feel in different situations? What triggers your emotional reactions? Knowing this is the key to change. Second step, self-regulation. Learning to calm down, to take a moment before reacting is invaluable. This can be done through meditation, exercise, or even breathing techniques. It doesn't matter how you do it. The important thing is that you do it. Third step, empathy. Always try to put yourself in the other person's shoes. You will often find that their behavior has little to do with you and more to do with their own struggles and emotions. By understanding this, we can avoid taking things personally and reacting in a way that makes the situation worse. And finally, the fourth step, setting healthy boundaries. Whether you're the one who needs to emotionally mature or you're dealing with someone who is immature, setting boundaries is crucial. It's not about being cold or distant, but about protecting your emotional well-being. Now, why is this so important? Because emotional maturity affects every area of your life, your relationships, your work, your mental and emotional well-being. And yes, it is a process. You may fail today, but what matters is that you wake up tomorrow, wiser, stronger, more mature. Number 10, lack of personal responsibility. Lack of personal responsibility sounds pretty serious, right? And it is. This goes beyond simply blaming others for our problems. We are talking about a complete renunciation of the personal power you have to change your life. By not taking responsibility for your actions, your decisions, even your emotional well-being, You are basically putting the reins of your life in the hands of other people or circumstances. And we're honest, that's like riding in a driverless car. Sooner or later, you're going to crash. So how do we begin to take responsibility? The first step is to realize that yes, things happen that are out of our control, but how we react to them, how we interpret them, and how we allow them to affect us, that is absolutely in our hands. The second step is to stop blaming. Blaming others is the easiest way to remain in a state of inaction. It's comfortable, there are no risks, and there is no need to change. But there is no growth either, and since you are here, on this channel, in this video, growth is something you actively seek. Third step, ask yourself powerful questions. Instead of saying, "Why does this always happen to me?" Try, "What can I learn from this?" Or, "How can I handle this differently in the future?" These questions shift the focus from what happened to you to what you are going to do about it, which is a much more empowering way to live your life. And here's the beautiful secret. Once you begin to take complete personal responsibility, once you become the active author of your own life, you will discover a level of freedom and power you never thought possible. You will be able to look challenges in the face and say, "I am equipped to handle this. I have the power to overcome this and grow from it." Friends, each of us has the key to the cell that sometimes keeps us prisoner. That key is personal responsibility. Use it and unleash the incredible strength and potential that already exists within you. Final reflection. Dear friends and personal growth adventurers, we have covered a lot of topics today that are crucial to becoming the best version of ourselves. Whether we're talking about personal responsibility, lack of self-discipline, or any other topic we've touched on, the fundamental truth remains the same. You have the power to change your life. Now, I know change is hard. I know that facing our failures and challenges can be intimidating, but I also know this: change is possible. No matter where you are now, no matter how many times you have failed in the past, each new day brings with it the opportunity to start again, to do better. And here's the beautiful gift in all of this. You don't have to do it alone. We are here in this community, supporting each other on this journey. So, if this content has brought you value, if you have felt inspired or challenged in any way, we invite you to like this video and subscribe to the channel. By doing so, you will not only receive more tools to help you on your journey, but you will also join a community of people who are as committed as you are to growing and improving. See you in the next video. Until then, keep going, break your limits, and become the person you've always wanted to be.